The room claps for someone else, and suddenly, your own life feels smaller. There is a particular ache in hearing another name praised, not because they attacked you, not because they stole from you, but because their applause begins to measure something in you. You hear the name, you see the room rise, and somewhere beneath the surface, a quieter question begins. What about me? That moment is not small. It is one of the oldest tests of the soul, because comparison rarely arrives with a sword. It arrives with applause. It arrives when another person is honored, and something in you begins to shrink. That is why the moment feels so private. No one may know what it did inside you. The room simply clapped, and your heart quietly turned it into a verdict. Marcus saw what praise could not do. Saul showed what happens when another name is given too much power. David shows the harder freedom. Praise without rivalry. The crowd keeps a ledger. It counts names, ranks faces, lifts one person today, and forgets another tomorrow. Its applause can feel like judgment, because the human heart is tempted to treat public attention as private worth. But Marcus saw through that illusion. He treated praise as something outside the thing itself. It may be loud. It does not add substance. That matters because praise often feels like proof. But for Marcus, a thing must be judged by what it is, not by how loudly it is received. A good thing is not made better because the crowd notices it. A faithful act is not made smaller because no one claps. The crowd can count applause. It cannot measure the soul. That is why reputation is such a dangerous master. It lives in other people's mouths. It changes with their mood. It belongs to people who themselves are passing away. If your worth rises when they clap, it will fall when they clap for someone else. Marcus does not tell you to hate praise. He tells you not to be governed by it, because once praise becomes your measure, another person's praise will feel like your loss. That is where the ancient story turns dark. After David's victory, the women sang. Saul had slain his thousands, David his tens of thousands. The song named David. Saul heard what he feared most. The words did not merely celebrate a warrior. They revealed fear inside a king. Saul heard another name rise, and he began to measure his own life against it. From that day forward, he watched David differently. The danger was not that David had been praised. The danger was that Saul let the song become the measure of his own life. Saul heard David praised and gave the song a throne. But David was more than the man Saul envied. He receives praise, but he does not turn praise into a campaign against Saul. He does not treat the crowd's song as permission to take what was not yet his. David continued to act wisely before the people. He did not turn public favor into a weapon. He carried himself under scrutiny while Saul's suspicion grew around him. He kept serving under pressure. Even when Saul's fear became threat, David did not become the rival Saul imagined. Later, when Saul's life came within David's reach, David still refused to strike. He could have made the moment about himself. He could have called opportunity what was really temptation. But he would not build his future on another man's ruin. Saul gave the song authority. David refused the rivalry. He did not need Saul's humiliation to prove his own place. That is the difference between a soul ruled by another person's praise and a soul still faithful to the work in its hands. But Marcus and David do not leave us with diagnosis. They return us to the work in our hands. The temptation is not only to want applause, it is to need another person's silence in order to feel whole. It is to need their name lowered so yours can stand. That is where comparison becomes dangerous. Not when you notice another person's honor. Not when the sting appears. The sting is human. The danger begins when the sting starts to command you. The first question is not whether they deserved the applause. The first question is what their applause is revealing in you. Marcus refused the crowd's ledger. David refused the rivalry. Together they press one truth into the heart. The room can clap for another person. Your post has not moved. Their song does not take your place. What is yours to carry does not need another person's fall. You can honor what was given to another, without abandoning what has been placed in your hands. The formed soul does not collapse when another name is praised. It feels the sting. It tells the truth about it. Then it returns to the work. So when the room claps for someone else, listen to what rises in you. If envy rises, do not follow it. If resentment speaks, do not obey it. If something in you says your place is gone, answer with the work still in your hands. Which test is hardest for you? The crowd's ledger, the rivalry it awakens, or the work that remains? Tell us below. Subscribe to the Principle Forge, where Stoic wisdom meets biblical truth. New videos weekly. Step into the forge.